following is a presentation of Main Street Media, your source for news, sports, and information on Main Street in Middle Tennessee.
This week we hear from new Portland head coach John Furgeson, hand out players of the week, give updated rankings, my 221, and more.
This is Full Court Press with your host, Zach Womble, covering high school sports all across Sumner County. Now to your host, lace them up, get ready for the Full Court Press. Here's Zach.
Hey, thanks, JP. Hey, everyone. Welcome into another edition of the Full Court Press. I, of course, am your host, Zach Womble. And in this episode, we have so much to dive into. But first, I need you to do me a favor. If you have not already, please like, subscribe, and rate the podcast wherever you're listening. It helps me out so much. I just want to say thank you to all the fans who tune in and listen each and every week. We're approaching 500 all-time downloads for the podcast, including 81 downloads in January, and so far 48 downloads this month, including listeners in Germany and Russia. So if you're across the pond, I really appreciate you tuning in. You, of course, can follow me on Twitter at Zach Womble MSP and the show on Twitter at FCP_MSP. Of course, that stands for Full Court Press for Main Street Preps. Go ahead and turn on those notifications so you never miss an episode. So first things first this week, let's hear from new Portland head coach John Furgeson on taking over as head coach at a place that is so near and dear to his heart.
Stand out here during your time at Portland. Just can you talk about what it means to lead your alma mater?
You know, when I was a freshman and I got to play for Coach Kingdon, I think that's really when my true love of basketball happened. And I saw him as a coach and mentor, and also Coach Good, and that kind of, it just affected me at that point. And that's when I kind of knew basketball is what I wanted to do. And, not everybody's like Corey going to go to the NBA. So I was lucky enough to go to college. And, when I got done, I wanted to jump straight into coaching, and it didn't really work out. And, I was 3 hours away in Athens, Tennessee. And then at that point, I just said, well, it's over. And then years down the road, my college I went to started a JV program. They brought me back, and, I was always like, man, I guess I'm going to be a college coach. And oddly enough, my wife got a promotion, and the promotion that brought me back here. And craziest thing happened. I reached out to, Miss Meadows at December and said, hey, I may need to sub. I'd love to coach. And 3 days before we moved, they called and they were like, hey, crazy stuff just happened. How would you like to teach and coach? And, at that point, it just kind of hit me that I was coming home, and it wasn't just moving back here with family, but when I can come back to a school that gave me so much, and not just basketball, but relationships and teachers. And some of those teachers are still here today. And, I told the guys when they go out there to clean, like the Portland and the Panthers on your jersey means something. It means something to me. It means something to people here. So even though we lost, when you go out there, you represent the school the right way, because it's the success of this team and school is, it means so much to me just because of what it's, been for my life.
Sorry, it's not like you're stepping into a really bad program. I mean, you guys are a really good team who plays, looks like you play very good basketball, fundamental basketball. So I'm wondering, your style of team, your style of coaching, what do you want your team to look like?
Well, it's been kind of wild circumstances, but we'll do some of the similar things. My background when I was in college at Tennessee Wesleyan, my freshman year we had a coach, and I was kind of the focal point of the offense. And then my sophomore year, Mike Poe came in, who was at Science Hill, and he was like, all right, we're going to press for 40 minutes and we're going to run for 40 minutes. And I hated it. And then all of a sudden I loved it. And then when I got to go back there and coach for the last 6 years, we press, we run, and, we get after it. And I like to, kind of push the pace. I like to make other people uncomfortable. But to do that, you really have to, have a culture that is around that. With these guys right now, obviously, it's about a little tweak here, a little new wrinkle, especially with the tournament coming up. But yeah, next year it will be a different style. We'll definitely get up and down a little bit more. We'll look to press. I'm more of a aggressive attack style coach instead of just letting stuff happen. I want to push the pace, but can't do too much with the time that we have right now.
For sure. Yeah, I was going to say it's probably a tough situation. I mean, to come in the final week and knowing you got the district tournament the next week, I know obviously a good basketball game for me as a spectator because it was close. It was entertaining. Probably not fun for you because you come out on the wrong end of it. But I'm curious, what do you pull from this game as positives as you move forward?
Oh yeah, and that's what I told the guys. I was like, no one in here should have their head down because believe it or not, I'm going to look at where we were last Tuesday at Smith County when we had the lead and the kid hits a leaning floater from half court, banks it in, and we lose. And then tonight, and I was able to put in a few plays that I like to do, see how they respond and get people the ball. And it was positive. Defensively, I thought we were a little bit more aggressive, a little bit more physical. I told him, I said, one of the biggest things for me was there were times when things got hard and it was easy for us to just roll over and them to just, run away with it. And guys messed up. For the first time, I saw guys going and grabbing them, talking to them, and just say, hey, chill out, calm down, let's keep our head up, keep playing. That's for a good group of seniors, and they're all leaders in their own way, but we don't really have that vocal guy. And they're all kind of more quiet, but there's, several times tonight where some of those guys were loud about body language, the way they were acting, calm down and things like that. And, I'll go back and see things like that. And that's what I told them I can build on because tomorrow we start Montgomery Central prep. We've got one day. And then for the next week, we have a week to build on these things. I was like, look, I don't know about you guys, but I like some of the new sets we threw in because, we really only had a day or two to practice them. But I liked it, and I think they kind of liked it. It's a little bit of a more free style of play. But yeah, there's a lot of positives. I said, look, it's a loss. It'll go into the loss column. That's all it is. From here, we just got to, take the positives and go on from there.
And as you know, as well as anybody, as soon as you get into district tournament play, nothing matters from the regular season.
Yeah. And in my senior year, we made it to the Final Four and, we were the 6th seed in our district. We traveled to Springfield in the playing game. And oddly enough, we had a 3-day break and then it snowed. We got 5 days. And I told the guys, I said, we have 5 days. And during those 5 days, we changed some things and it clicked.
Yeah.
And we got those lucky rolls, those lucky bounces. 2 separate times, David Lipscomb was ahead of us by 5 or 6 with a minute left. We win both those games. And I said, when the district tournament starts, no one cares about a record because you can be 30-0 and we play a game and, and I'm advancing and you're going home. So the big thing is keeping their focus and, keeping them upbeat, right now, because they've had a few just devastating losses that we're 1 or 2 plays from winning. So that's the good thing with seniors and the group of guys that we have in there is they'll come to work tomorrow for practice and just get after it, and they'll put this game behind them, which is a good thing for me.
I'm curious, just from a coach's viewpoint, how do you mentioned the tough losses and that is difficult when things just don't go your way during a week or a stretch or whatever. How do you keep their spirits up?
Well, I think it's just positivity. It'd be easy to go in there and talk about all the things that we did wrong. Well, on this possession, you didn't box out. Look, they got a layup. On this possession, we didn't talk on the screen. When you lose, it kills you inside. It really does. And if you just kind of beat it into them, that's all they're going to see. So that's what I was talking to Coach Ward. I said, look, when we go in here, it's nothing but positives. And that's what we did at Smith County. I said, guys, you did everything to win. We were one, possession, one little, away. And I was like, and look, that's in a game like this, when you're playing a team that's lost 3 games and we've had them on the ropes twice. I was like, that's positive. Like they're not beating us by 30. So if we match up again, how are they feel?
Yeah.
Like, we're hungry.
For sure.
They've beat us twice.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I was like, you got to think about these things going forward. But yeah, I mean, it's just, like I said, preach the positives. And I mean, it's the good thing is you got 4 senior leaders in there, and they're, you know, I told them, I said, you guys are a special group and special things can happen. So it makes my job easier with those guys, because they're going to come in tomorrow and they're the ones, they're going to lead drills and get everybody ready to go and get people excited. So by the time I get to practice, they're ready to go. And I don't even have to do anything, you know, it's those guys, you know, enough, everyone looks up to them. So it makes my job a little bit easier.
Last question, I'll let you go about the game. It seems like this, I know it was a 42-40 game. You gave yourself a chance in the fourth quarter, but it really feels like that third quarter was a big difference. I think you only scored 4 in that quarter. I think it might have been a 12-4 advantage for them. What didn't work? Was it their 2-3 zone that was just suffocating? I mean,
yeah, I think we wanted, and this has been a problem all year, when something doesn't go our way, instead of, you know, being patient, seeing what we get, we want to create, we want to make things happen. And, you know, I've told the guys, we don't have that guy we can give the ball to. He just makes it happen. You know, some teams are blessed with that. You know, tonight, number 2, they gave him the ball a few times. He just made a play. You know, he went to the rim. He hit, you know, 2 big threes. They just gave him the ball. He can get stuff done. We're not built like that. So, you know, we have to be a little bit more methodical. We have to run our cuts. You know, we have to run our system. And when they get 2 or 3 buckets in a row, then it becomes, oh, we got to break this slump. I got to do something big. And then we force. And unfortunately, our force is their fast break layups. And that's, you know, a lot of those just easy buckets we gave them was our trying to create something. And, you know, it's, you try to calm them down, but, you know, when you're out there and everything's going on, you don't understand, oh, I got to, you know, we got to pull this back a little bit. But yeah, it was just, we try to create, we want to make stuff happen when it's not there. And that's been a problem all year. That's not, you know, that's nothing new. And, you know, I mean, I would be saying otherwise if we were on that 12-4 run, you know, if they were trying to force and everything was going our way.
for sure.
But yeah, it's been a problem. But, you know, once we hunkered down and kind of dug in, I was never worried that the game was out of control.
Yeah.
You know, I knew they were going to go on a run because they're a heck of a ball team. I mean, they're good at so many things. I knew it would be back and forth. And I told them at halftime, I said, look, we're going to see who gets the ball last.
Yeah. And you had a chance. You had 2 chances, actually.
Yeah, had 2 chances, you know, and look, was there contact on the last play? Sure. But, you know, if that was us playing defense, I wouldn't complain they didn't make a call. Right. You know, I think that was just a physical play. We had 2 guys, you know, that met at the rim, and it didn't go our way. But sure. I told him, I said, look, if we're back out there, I'd draw the same play up. I'd go for the same look.
Yeah.
You know, every time. But sometimes you get that lucky roll. Sometimes you don't.
Thank you to head coach John Furgeson for spending a little bit of time with me last night following their tough loss against Greenbrier, 42-40. You know, that game really did come down to 2 Greenbrier runs. In the second quarter, Greenbrier went on a 10-2 run to tie the game at 20-20. And then again, that 12-4 run in the third quarter that allowed Greenbrier to jump up by 6. So, you know, those 2 runs, if Portland shows a little bit better offensively, maybe that game's not close in the fourth quarter and they walk away with the victory. I know they've played Greenbrier tough twice now, and if they see them again in the district championship, I would imagine it's going to be a very good basketball game again. But yeah, I mean, just a good win for Greenbrier on the road, and they're enjoying a special season. I think they're 21-2 now, 22-2 now, 6-1 in league play. I got the district wrapped up last night with their win. So just a fun game to be a part of. But again, I think it was those 2 runs that really did Portland in. Let's jump straight into our Players of the Week segment, one of our favorite segments to do each and every week. And this week we're looking at Gallatin High School, but more specifically Union High School, as Gallatin High School honored Union High School on Tuesday night with throwback uniforms against Hendersonville High School, and that is where our Players of the Weeks come from. First up, Maggie Hale scored 15 points for Gallatin/Union in their 52-47 victory, including the 2 game-winning free throws to help seal the win. That was a big win for Gallatin, one that they needed desperately, especially coming off the loss last week on Friday to Beech in a game that They had their chances, but they just couldn't close it out. Game that Briella scored 30 in, another honorable mention for Player of the Week. But Maggie Hill again scoring 15 points in a critical win for Gallatin last night. I'll get into my rankings later on in the show, but a much needed victory for the Lady Waves / Lady Red Doublettes last night. And then her brother Cannon Hill scoring 17 points in their 62-53 victory. Whenever Union needed a bucket Tuesday night, it seemed like Hill was always there to deliver with a three-pointer. He's played really good basketball. I know he only scored 4 points in their double overtime loss to Beech on Friday night, but Beech made it apparent that they were going to take Cannon out of that game and not allow him to shoot because he's a good shooter. I mean, he can light it up from distance, as showed on Tuesday night against Hendersonville. So Maggie Hill, Cannon Hill are 2 players of the week this week, brother and sister. Congratulations to them. Moving on to the best game that I saw this week. Is this a shocker to anyone? But the Gallatin versus Beech boys, double overtime, instant classic. Went on a night where 2 games could have easily pulled this one, including Pope Prep at Innsworth, but I was not at that game. Our fearless leader, Dave Gould, was at that game. And he was able to send the video of Pope Prep getting the game-winning layup from Tristan Conger to get that victory, a much-needed victory. Pope Prep is actually 9-3 over their last 12, including a 6-game winning streak. But like I said, the double overtime instant classic was a no-brainer for me. This game had everything and more you'd want out of a basketball contest: clutch shooting, incredible atmosphere, quality coaching, and just a well-played basketball game from the jump. I think there were 49 foul calls in the basketball game, which is a lot, but it was evenly called. It was tightly called, but neither coach thought that one got the shaft more than the other. Just a well played game from start to finish. I was really happy with the referees, allowing these kids to show emotion. This is a double overtime game. I mean, the stands were packed from wall to wall, baseline to baseline. It was incredible. It was a lot of fun. And I'm just really glad the referees allowed the kids to determine the game, allowed them to play with emotion, because when you make big plays in games like that, it's gonna spill out of you. And I'm just happy that the refs allowed that to happen. Again, Beech escaped with a 74-69 victory thanks to a Caleb Cothran three-pointer to force a second overtime as time expired. And in that second overtime, Beech had all the momentum, and it showed. A lot of people were shocked by the result, saying that, Beech was going to blow them out, that there was going to be no contest. But I don't think those people pay attention to Sumner County basketball and or Bobby Luna. Listen, Bobby Luna, let me tell you right now, Bobby Luna is not only one of the best coaches in Sumner County, he is one of the best coaches in the state. You can comb through his resume and find quality win after quality win. I mean, you don't earn more than 550 career victories being bad at your job. So, to sit here and say like, oh, that's not a good win, which I did hear, hogwash. I don't buy that whatsoever. There's no such thing as a bad win. And as my main man, Dominic Toretto, once said, it doesn't matter if you win by an inch or a mile. Winning is winning. And that's exactly what they did on Friday night. They won a game that they probably weren't supposed to win, but that's exactly what good teams do. So I caught up with Tyler Moore after the game, as well as head coach Kip Brown. Let's hear what they had to say following Beech's 74-69 win.
I heard, so I don't know who said it, but it said, I feel like we stole this one tonight. Is that how you feel about this win tonight?
Nah, honestly, I thought we was going to win the whole time. I was never worried. I kept poised, and we just pulled through.
What about Caleb's shot, man? It obviously you saved the ball from going out of bounds. It finds his hands and he drills it. What do you think a shot does for this team?
Me and Caleb work on that. Like we work on, like we rebound for each other every day, so we work on that. And when I got it to him, I knew I was going in.
Yeah, 21 points for you tonight. It was a tough game. It was a very physical but tightly called game. But you were able to find a way to win. Now that you move forward with this game, this is probably your biggest test. How do you keep this team focused just on finishing the season strong?
Just not getting complacent, and then just keep on doing what we've been doing, and we'll keep the streak going.
Do you think about finishing an undefeated season now, and do you think about chasing that? I think Kip told me 32 or 33 straight wins that Beech has had as a record. Do you think about that at all?
Yeah, we've thought about it. Coach Kip don't really talk about it too much, but we know our potential. We know we can get to state. We know, we have the potential to win it. So that is definitely like where we have our eyes set.
This team can score the basketball in a lot of different ways, but when Eli goes out with foul trouble, it's obviously a big loss. How were you able to just rally the guys around it and still pull out this victory?
Just playing our game. I love having the ball in the fourth quarter. I love having it when we're down. So my teammates know to get it to me and then let me make a play for them.
When Caleb hit that three and you go into the second overtime, was there any doubt at that point? Because you scored the first, I think, 6 points of the quarter.
I knew it was going to win after Caleb hit the three. After we went to double overtime, it was over.
Very good. Congrats, man.
Yes, sir.
You don't want to talk to me today.
Yeah, if you don't mind.
I got a little voice.
It's okay. I'll take the last of it. Man, what a game. I mean, the best high school game I've covered all season long. We talked about this on Tuesday, this being one of your final tests of the regular season. So for you to come out and get the win the way that you did, what can you say about your guys?
First I got to say Gallatin is a really good team. Cade Martin is a really good player, and they got a lot of other good players. And Coach Luna's a great coach. And I knew that this was going to be a very tough game for us. So I want to give Gallatin a lot of credit. And, they gave us all we wanted tonight, and they probably should have won the game. But our guys kept fighting, stayed in it, made just enough plays, Tyler was really good, and then Caleb Cotton hit the big three to give us a chance in overtime, and then they got the lead after that, and we had to play catch up again, and we just, like I said, we just made one more play than they did.
Fair enough. Tyler was great. Caleb was great. You mentioned Christian hit some big free throws. JP hit some big. Everybody stepped up when they needed to. Yep. Was there ever a doubt in your mind though that you weren't going to win this game tonight?
Oh yeah. It's like at some point the ball's going to bounce the other way, and it looked like it was going to bounce their way. But there was some doubt, and it's hard to win every game, man.
Yeah,
golly, it's like you just figure like something's not going to happen. So, and we like I told you before, we don't want to lose a game, but if we lose, we lose, and we'll just come back and learn from it.
Yeah, no disrespect to your final two opponents in league play, but you wrap up the district regular season tonight. So can you just talk about being able to accomplish that goal?
It's a goal for every team every year, and it's nice to get it with a week left in the season, so we can relax just a little bit, and not have to worry about it anymore, and get that one seed and get that bye to region is really nice, because ever since I've been at Beech with the 8-team district, that first game is always stressful. I don't care who you're playing. Yeah, you could be 1 and out, no matter who you're playing, 1 versus 8, 2 versus 7. So it's nice to go straight to region no matter what happens in the district tournament.
Not a lot of teams win a game like this on the road, hostile environment. That gym was jumping, a straight electric factory. And then throw on top of that, you lose Eli Rice, Mr. Basketball candidate, hopeful. Mm-hmm. You lose Braden Brinkley. It just speaks to your depth, doesn't it?
We got so much depth. We got guys sitting over there that don't get in the game that could go out and play and do good things. Yeah. And we do have a lot of depth. We're blessed to have a lot of good players. And, we're losing a lot of seniors this year, but we're still going to be good next year. We got good juniors, good sophomores, good freshmen. So we are the coaching staff is very blessed to have all the talent we have. And not just talent. We got a lot of good guys that cheer for each other and aren't pouting about playing time and are being patient, waiting for their turn.
How do you recover? What do you do to recover from a game like this?
I don't go take a shower, and I don't know, man. Just watch college basketball all weekend, basically.
Take the weekend off.
Yeah, take the weekend off, come back at it on Monday.
That was Tyler Moore and Kip Brown following their win over Gallatin last Friday. I want to thank them for just, giving me some time as always after game. Always fun to catch up with those guys. That leads us into our boys rankings for this week. Again, not a lot of change, to be honest with you, with teams 1 through 5 from last week. Beech, of course, being my number 1 team, 28-0, 9-0, with the opportunity to close out an undefeated regular season this Friday night. Pope Prep, 19-7, 7-4. They're playing such good basketball down the stretch, man. It's been incredible to watch. 6 straight wins, 9-3 over the last 12. no loss more than 5 points. They've gotten revenge already on Innsworth. They're trying to get revenge on CPA to close out the regular season this Friday night. So they're looking really, really good. Like I said, 19-7, 7-4. Tristan Conger, who I nominated as a Mr. Basketball candidate for Division II AA, along with a couple other guys in Sumner County, like Eli Rice from Beech. I also nominated Elena Eckel from Westmoreland. So, they're playing really good basketball down the stretch. Got Gallatin as my number 3 team. I know they lost on Friday to Beech. Excuse me. But that was a good, if there is such a thing as a good loss, that's what it was. 14-10, 6-3. Got a win over Hendersonville on Tuesday night. My number 4 team, I'm keeping Portland at 16-11, 4-3 in District 9 3A. Again, last night could have easily beaten Greenbrier. They've had a tough week, losing on the road to Smith County the way that they did. The guy hitting a fall-away bank shot jumper from mid-court to force overtime, and then, of course, Smith County being at home had all the momentum in the world. So they've just had a tough week, not to mention losing their head coach. But you know what? Keeping them at number 4, my 4 spot, and I feel good about that. Hendersonville at number 5 at 14-10, 4-5 overall, and then 6-7 trade spots this week. Station Camp at number 6 at 9-17 overall, 1-7 in league play. White House at 7-19, 2-5 in league play. I'm giving Station Camp the edge just because I think 4A basketball a little bit tougher than 3A basketball. And they've played some good teams close. So I feel good with 6-7. But if you want to argue that 7-6 should be flip-flopped, I hear you out. And then closing out my number 8 and number 9 teams is Westmoreland at 5-17, 0-4 in league play, and Merrill Hyde at 5-17 and 2-8 in league play. Looking at my girls' rankings, top 3 teams stay the same. Westmoreland 21-3 overall, 3-0 in league play in a 4-team district, so they're just not going to have a lot of district games. Beech at 17-10, 9-0 in league play in 9-4A. Got an opportunity and should, no disrespect to Hunter's Lane, but absolutely should Beech win that game on Friday and move to 10-0 in league play. Station Camp. Big game this Friday night. I will be at for the girls. I'll be at both the girls and boys, but it's both big for both boys and girls. But I think maybe a little bit bigger for the girls. Station Camp number 3 at 15-8 and 5-3 overall. Gallatin up 1 spot after beating Hendersonville on Tuesday night at 15-10 and 5-4 overall. Again, Hendersonville at my number 5 team at 15-9, 5-4. Again, a big game this Friday night between Station Camp and Hendersonville. And honestly, my number 6 team, White House, they could have moved up to number 5, but they had a tough loss last night to a very good Creekwood team. So I kept them at number 6 at 14-11, 5-2. They've had a really good year this year, and I wouldn't be surprised if White House makes a run at their district tournament championship. Shout out Pope Prep. I know they're number 7 on my rankings this week, but they got their first region win of the season this past week, beating St. Cecilia. They are 11-15 overall, 1-12 in league play. And then my number 8 and number 9 teams, Portland at 7-19, 2-5. Had an opportunity to beat Greenbrier on Tuesday night, but was unable to close it out. And then, of course, Merrill Hyde at 7-16 and 3-7 overall. So, again, those are my boys and girls rankings. Not a lot of movement from last week to this week. A little bit, but, again, you can see how they shook out. Again, Station Camp up 1 spot on my boys. White House down 1 spot on my boys. If you want to argue that they flip-flop, I'll hear it. And then up 1 spot, Gallatin, Lady Wave, and then down 1 spot, the Hendersonville Lady Commandos. Hitting you with the 2-2-1 full court press, 2 games this week. I'm looking at Station Camp and Hendersonville on Friday, and then Beech and Hunters Lane on Friday. As I previously mentioned in my rankings, the girls, Station Camp girls and boys game, massive in terms of district standing, district seedings. Or excuse me, not so much on the boys side because the Station Camp boys have only got 1 win. I think Hendersonville boys, what did I say? They have 4 wins in league play. Yeah, 4-5 overall, whereas Station Camp is just 1-7. So it's not like they can catch them. So it's more important on the girls side who, like I said, Station Camp 5-3 in league play, Hendersonville 5-4. So if Hendersonville gets the win, obviously 5-4, you split the season series. So you do a coin flip and it comes down to a whole mess. So, but again, and then Beech at Hunters Lane on Friday for both the girls and boys. Beech boys should be probably a closer game than the girls. Hunters Lane girls, no disrespect, but they've struggled all year long to get a win. So it's big in terms of the girls moving to 10-0 and capping off a perfect district regular season. And then the boys, hey, an opportunity to go 29-0, 10-0 in league play is nothing to look over, nothing to miss. So wanted to give a shout out to them. I know I've talked a lot about Beech this year, the boys, but it's not every day you get a team in your area going undefeated. And I just think an opportunity to go 29-0 as you head into the district tournament, automatic bid to the region already is something to be celebrated. My two players this week, Tristan Conger for Pope Prep on the road at CPA. Again, the Pope Prep trying to get a little bit of revenge for losing to CPA earlier this season. Tristan Conger, a Mr. Basketball hopeful who I nominated, has played really good basketball down the stretch for them this season. Really all season he's played well. I think he's averaging about 18 points per game. Got the go-ahead game-winning layup on the road at Innsworth. And just a really good point guard. Just a really, really good point guard and someone who should be able to play college basketball at the next level. So whoever gets him is going to be lucky to have him. Again, they're on the road at CPA this week before they start their region tournament. And then also looking at Dace Shuck for Hendersonville when they play Station Camp. Listen, Hendersonville's kind of faltered late, and I don't know why that is. But in order to get on the right track, I think they need to feed their big man on the low block because I think he can do some damage, especially against Station Camp, who is, they're struggling this year. They lost their three best players in the offseason. And I know Hendersonville likes to shoot the three ball. They like to live and die by it. But I just think in this game, you feed your big man because he's going to carry you a long, long way. So I'm looking at Dace Shuck this week for Hendersonville versus Station Camp on Friday. And then my one winner, I'm looking at Beech at Hunters Lane boys to capture the elusive undefeated regular season at 29-0. 10-0 in league play. I don't need to beat the drum too much. I talked about Beech probably to the other schools nauseum. But again, like I said, it's not every day you get an undefeated regular season. And I think Beech has the opportunity to do that at 29-0. I don't know if they were pissed off about the Fab 15 rankings dropping them to number 2, but they responded with a 47-point victory against McGavick on Tuesday night, 97-50. That's massive. That's a huge victory. I mean, that's just unbelievable what they were able to do, score 97 points in a 32-minute basketball game. But again, they're my one winner for this week, Beech at Hunters Lane boys. Going into overtime this week, we don't do it every week, but sometimes we do it. And I felt like this week was a good opportunity to do it since I saw a 2 overtime classic on Friday. A little shameless self-plug for me. You can catch me on the radio Thursday afternoon from 4 to 6 on the afternoon stretch with Zach Williams on WNSR 95.9 FM on their WNSR app, online at WNSR.com, and, of course, on social media, whether that be Facebook or Twitter. We'll share out the links, of course, WNSR being West Nashville Sports Radio. And so, that'll do it for this week. I hope you had a good time listening to me ramble. And remember, please, please, please like, subscribe, rate the podcast wherever you may be listening. I'm going to steal a bit from Around the Horn. You see the basketball goal. You know what time it is. I'm going to try to do a little shoot. Paper ball. Let's see what happens. Air ball. Paper doesn't fly that well. I'll talk to you next week.
This has been Full Court Press with your host, Zach Womble, covering high school sports in Sumner County. Follow Zach on Twitter at Zach Womble MSP and follow the show at FCP_MSP and find his work online at MainStreetPreps.com. Full Court Press is part of the Sumner County Sports Podcast, a Main Street Media production.